let's go through the news, because I did say to those of you who are patient enough to hang about that I go back through the news really quick. And there's one story I haven't even spoken about yet, which I'll go through in a second. Stretching out the legs. So, this here from the Mirror firstly said, Arne Slot is not interested in an Anfield reunion with Newcastle winger Yakuba Minta, who was on loan at Feyenoord under the new Liverpool manager. Look, we've said that a few times as well. Newcastle are looking to sell him to raise money. I'm sure there will be a lot of interest, but Liverpool aren't one of those clubs. This piece, though, I haven't spoken about today, but we have previously. It said Liverpool are weighing up a move to sign Porto's Alan Varela, who has been dubbed the new Javier Mascherano. Football insiders say the Reds could trigger the midfielder's £60 million buyout clause after a number of impressive displays in Portugal this season. The 22-year-old, who hails from Argentina, signed for Porto last August in a deal worth roughly $10 million. I think it was Boca or River Plate. And I know that there's a sell-on clause there as well. I think it's 20%. So I know some people in the chat have been quite fond of Varela. You know, for me, honest answer is don't know enough about him. But reading up on him, he certainly seems to be somebody who is expected to have a breakthrough. So if I'm wrong on this, I apologise. But I feel like he's not in the Argentina Copa squad, but he is going to the Olympics. I think I'm right on that one. But if I'm not, let me know. I know he's going to the Olympics, but I'm not sure if he's in the Argentinian Copa America squad. Next, we had a report that said, depending on decisions made by Arne Slot on assessing his squad, the likes of Tyler Morton, Fabio Carvalho, Nat Phillips and Kostas Tsimikas would not be allowed to leave on the cheap. But not they wouldn't be allowed to leave. So let me read that line again. The likes of Tyler Morton, Fabio Carvalho, Nat Phillips and Kostas Tsimikas wouldn't be allowed to leave on the cheap. And should Barcelona or PSG make a concrete offer for Luis Diaz, they can expect to be asked to cough up in excess of £75 million. Next piece came from Sky Sports, and I'm not saying they're the originator of this story, it's just where I read it. And it said, Liverpool rumours Barca to offer Rafinha in swap deal for Diaz. Then we moved on to speak about Bayern Munich considering signing Levi Colwill. And they say initial talks, Florian Plettenberg of Sky Germany said initial talks have already taken place. So my argument was, and the punt I made to the chat was, if there's any hope in hell that Colwill's on the market, we got to be in there. Because he's the answer. I just didn't assume Chelsea were going to sell him. But if they are open to selling him, and Munich are looking at him, I think we should be at least registering our interest in Colwill. He's homegrown, as I said, came through a great academy at Chelsea, and I would say he can be coached to be phenomenal. And imagine the future if you had Colwill, Kwanzaa, Kanade, all under the age of 23, 24, and then you've got Verge, your senior pro, and Joe Gomez as well. I can get behind that for the right price. Then we had talked about Liverpool's leaked away kit images. You've probably seen them before. They're on footy headlines. For me, I don't like the shirt, but other people seem to. Then we did the poll that was conducted by YouGov Sport and Betfair that asked more than 2,000 football fans, would they prefer the football club to win the Premier League, or would they prefer England to win the Euros? And 63% of football fans surveyed said they'd rather see their club win the Premier League over England winning in Germany this summer. Now, they broke it down a little bit further. They said Chelsea fans are the most patriotic, with 60% of Chelsea fans preferring England to win the Euros over Chelsea winning the Premier League. Remember that, Chelsea fans, when you're all bitching and moaning about winning nothing, that you prefer England to win. So if England win the Euros this year, I don't want to hear any Chelsea fans moaning next year, because 60% of you guys don't really want your team to win the league. You prefer England to win the Euros. Liverpool, on the other hand, only 32% of Liverpool supporters side with England over Liverpool winning the Premier League. And shame on those 32%, in my opinion, but, you know, each to their own. Then we spoke about a potential transfer change. So this piece said that during the Jurgen Klopp era, Liverpool spent £900 million on players, but recouped a whopping £575 million from player sales. That equates to a net spend of around £40 million per year on average during Jurgen Klopp's tenure. This piece on the Echo does say that there's been a slight change. They say that though it doesn't paint the full picture, in the last 4 years, the average net spend has crept up to more than £60 million, while last year, Liverpool's net spend was in excess of £90 million. So that is quite interesting. You know, spending 900 million quid in Jurgen... Let me just paint this picture for you. Jurgen Klopp spent £900 million in 9 years during his tenure at the football club, recouping 550. Todd Bowley's Chelsea spent more than that in a year. Not saying one way is right and the other way is wrong, but there has to be a middle. So Bowley, Chelsea, 1 billion in a year. Jurgen, 9 years, Champions League, Super Cup, Club World Cup, 2 League Cups, FA Cup later, 900 million. That's brilliant. There's no other words for that other than Jurgen and the coaches, they played a blinder. But it kind of also backs up our other argument that with a little bit more, with a tiny bit more enthusiasm or ambition maybe, could that have been a bit greater? Probably, but at least as this piece says, it's trending upwards with 60%, with 60 million being the figure over the last couple of years. What else have we got? We did the Matt Law thing where Trent looks like he's starting for England with Declan Rice. Then we said Diogo Jota has said the best player currently in the Premier League is Alexis McAllister. This piece from Nacional said Liverpool are looking to take advantage of the uncertainty surrounding Rodrigo's future at the Santiago Bernabeu. The report states that with the arrival of Kylian Mbappe, that Rodrigo could well leave the club and those chances have now increased. It's being claimed that Madrid would allow Rodrigo to leave the club if 1, he expressed a desire to do so, and 2, somebody was willing to pay €100 million, which I have to say is probably a fairly reasonable fee in my opinion for Rodrigo, because you're getting somebody who's experienced at the very, 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 very highest level, European champion, plays for Brazil. Yeah, I think, and age-wise, I think €100 million is actually a fair price. Which sounds mad because it's a lot of money, but it's not completely unrealistic. Now, we had the exclusive from Florian Plettenberg again, talking about Levi Colwill. He said if a move for Jonathan Tah doesn't work out for Bayern, Colwill is the top alternative. And that was quote tweeted by the COP Council, who said, wouldn't be surprised if Bayern got a breakthrough and Liverpool then entered the race to sign Colwill. I would hope so. If Liverpool are sitting back looking, I very much hope that they do. If there's any encouragement given to Bayern Munich, come to the table. Then we had that crazy story, that is the title of the stream, which was Trent Alexander-Arnold wants to leave Liverpool, according to this piece coming from Spain, and Real Madrid want a swap deal. So they say Trent is prepared to push for a huge Liverpool exit this summer and could join Real Madrid in a staggering swap deal with Rodrigo. Again, I'm not saying this is me saying it, but we are bringing you guys the reports. That's then backed up by a couple more team talk. Now, it does all trace back to the one article, but a couple of other outlets have ran with it, so we felt we had to bring it to you guys to discuss. Then there was a piece from Fabrizio Romano saying Liverpool remain in the race to sign Crescencio Somerville for about £30 million from Leeds. Leeds, of course, will need to free up some money, I think, before the end of June. So I don't think we're still in the race. I think Chelsea will end up signing him, but again, we've got to bring it to you. And then there's more stories linking us with Rodrigo, basically. So that's a roundup of where we're at. Now I'm going to hand it over to you guys to let me know what you think.